Okay, this is the town of Sharpsburg. The nearby area offers good defensive ground that will assist us to counter the Union Army. As you guys know, the Union won the Battle of Antietam, although it was one of the bloodiest battles of the war. So we're going to see if we can't turn that around and win with the Confederacy. I'm not sure if it's possible, but we're going to do our absolute best. And also, thank you so much for everybody being so supportive, about the hate mail, calling me a slave supporter, a slavery supporter. And there's so many people out there that don't understand that we're playing a game here. You know, we're playing a historical game. We're trying to play around with history a bit. I've made no statements in support of slavery. And I know you guys understand that. The viewers, the centurions, those of you that are actually committed to this website or this channel understand, and I really appreciate that support. So anyway, up to this location along the Sunken Road. From here, we can dominate the river crossing to the east. So I'm hoping this looks like it's going to be a defensive battle. I love defensive battles because that's really where I shine. Rest of our troops, together with the right-wing army of James Longstreet, are on their way and will arrive from this road. So really, there's not a lot of cover on this battlefield. One thing I've noticed, there are, of course, some forested areas, but there's a lot of open ground. The Union Army will probably not hesitate and attempt to attack us this dawn. Be wary, General. Well, very well. I will be wary. Union forces approaching from the north, and we've got to defend, guys. We need to hold our defensive line established in the woods, and I'm hoping that's going to be easier said than done. Nicodemus Hill is perfect for placing artillery and shooting at the flanks of the advancing Union lines. Kind of reminds me of that hornet's nest we created in our last battle, well, our Confederate battle. Our main objective is not to allow the enemy to capture Dunker Church, which will allow their further advance towards the town. Now, this looks like a tough defense. We expect our reinforcements to arrive in about 2 hours, so it's advised not to overstretch the maneuvers. And if you take a look at our men, it looks like a lot of these guys are not at full strength, not even close. So I'm going to go ahead and scout ahead with Munford, and I'm also going to scout ahead with Hampton. And we're going to start getting our guys up here on Nicodemus Hill, specifically the artillery. I'm also going to bring Jubilee Early, my favorite Confederate general. They called him the mean old man. And with good reason. He was a very, very mean old man. Well, not in that sense. Just a tough general. Let's put it that way. I'm going to put the Louisiana Tigers right there on the cornfield. Yes, we're leaving cover a little bit just to set up an initial frontal defensive line. And at some point, we will move things around. I want to take Jeb Stuart, get him over here by Jackson. In fact, I might take Jeb Stuart over to Nicodemus Hill, but I'm going to try to make this basically a hornet's nest like we did. I can't even remember what battle it was. If anybody can put the battle where we did this before with the Confederates down below, I would love you because we did a really good job basically holding off the Union just by holding that 1 point. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to set up here in the woods. I'm going to take Douglas here. I'm going to put him right over here in front. Well, look at that. Looks like the Union may be approaching from the east. Okay, well, I'm going to make sure Walker is not walking but running into that position to face and deal with any enemy skirmishers. I'm also going to create a skirmisher brigade from Douglas and get them to go ahead and take a look over here. We don't want the enemy basically surprising us. So let's actually take Munford's men, his cavalry, and move over here. It looks like the first shots are about to be fired against Christian. And I'm thinking it's probably a good idea to get one of our generals here. It looks like he's going for a straight-up charge. Maybe not. But I'm going to put our skirmishers over here in the woods, and I'm going to bring over Jeb Stuart, because we definitely need somebody to help us in this area. Might even bring over Douglas and put him over here in these woods, because now that we know the enemy is approaching from the north, and more importantly, approaching from the northeast, I think we need to be prepared for any possible movements. Okay, there we go, firing at the skirmishers. A lot of people have been asking lately, why does your voice sound so ragged? I took up smoking again. I know it's an awful thing. I quit for 3 years, and I'm going to stop. I really am going to stop. But that's probably why. Although it's funny, because when I do my voice acting, I tend to get a few more roles because of the fact that I've got this ragged, almost warlord-like voice now. Honestly, it's morning time. You know, it usually goes away, but it is kind of annoying, and I understand. So we're going to go ahead and move Douglas forward. I'm also going to try to get some artillery over here. In fact, I'm starting to think that we got to bring a lot of our men over here because we are having a lot of enemies in this area. And I hope Jeb Stuart is safe here. It looks like, oh, no. Heartbuff is going to try to do some damage here. And let's go ahead and take Munford. We may be able to rebuff Heartbuff. But but I think we'll take Munford and try to get behind the enemy. And look at that, we're being attacked all across the line, so no wonder this is such a tough battle. I mean, we really are getting hit from every single direction. Make sure Jubilee Early is also firing on Patrick here, and even Hampton. I want him to fire on Patrick, get them pistols out, or those carbines. They might be carbines, or carbines, excuse me. I know the Civil War buffs are going to kill me on that one. And once again, I'm going to get Douglas over here. I'm still moving him because we want to get into that position where we can flank the enemy. We're going to grab Stark. Thankfully, the Union charges across this field. Just like I told you, there's so many open spaces on this battle. They're getting absolutely massacred with those Union charges. So that's a good sign. But we still have to worry about this issue right here, which is the enemies trying to take our beautiful Hornet's Nest from us. We can't allow that. So I'm actually going to have our boys run into position. I'm going to have to do the same with Warren. Like I said, we're kind of under strength here. Let's get Jackson over here. And being under strength in such a battle can be a serious problem. As you can see, we just lost a very important artillery piece. We're going to charge with Hampton here. Let them fire first, and now I'm charging because I can't afford to lose artillery pieces left and right. Let's get Warren over here by the farm. And Jackson hopefully can hold off this attack. That's a really slow charge. I'm not liking that, but nice canister shot by our artillery. And the Iron Brigade is, of course, one of the most successful Union brigades. I'm not sure if our cavalry is going to be able to do much to stop it. Definitely looks like we've managed to hold this area. The Union's pulling back, so I'm going to bring some of our boys over here to face the Union head on this way. Let's move Stark over here as well. And let's get those supplies. We'll move them to Nicodemus Hill eventually, but right now I'm going to play it safe and just kind of keep our boys back. Stonewall Brigade is taking some serious hits, and the enemy's definitely trying to take that that position, and it looks like Captain John Pelham is killed. I think he was the one currently taking over Stonewall's Brigade temporarily, and he definitely did an okay job here. Come on, Warren. What are you waiting for, boy? Here we go. So much action going on in this battle, and we're just trying to hold just for the first day. I think we're going to have to get Jackson out of here because it looks like the enemy's going to take this position. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try to stop him, though. And interestingly enough, we could actually dismount Hampton's troops, create a sort of secondary defensive line. We've never tried it before with cavalry, but we're going to try it now. So we're actually going to turn Jackson's troops into basically a mobile force, Hampton's troops, excuse me, to help defend this area. And it looks like now the Iron Brigade managed to rout us, so we definitely need Hampton moving in here. And let's keep moving Stark, try to flank the enemy over here, move Penn. Warren can go back to his position over here at the town. And we might have a few more Union boys trying to push in, but I don't think they're going to do very well, to be honest with you. If we can hold this area, I'll consider that a very, very big bonus. Because right now, this area is being absolutely pounded by the enemy. Okay, Jubilee early. Come on, man. I believe in you. I believe in you, Jubal. I really do. Thinking we should probably take Schumacher away from here and bring him to the front. But then, of course, leaves open a lot of things, a lot of different possibilities. And actually, no. Looks like Stonewall Jackson is in control of this brigade, so I'm not sure what happened to that particular captain. But he's just a captain. Things happen. I know that sounds terrible and mean, but it's just the truth of the situation. And once again, with Munford, we're also going to dismount and basically create a nice group of men here. I want to see what kind of rifle they're using. So they're using a .50 carbine, 50 caliber carbine. I mean, that is a huge bullet, and definitely something that's going to put the hurt on the enemy. But we're going to try to bring Stark over here to flank the enemy. The enemy does have some artillery back there, and I'm starting to think we might take Hampton very soon, and we might go ahead and try to basically flank the enemy artillery and take it out, so it's not really much of a threat anymore. Come on, Munford. Stonewall, we need you too, boy. Penn, fire into Christian. Brigadier General William Stark is killed. Now, that's a big loss. That's a big, big loss. Stark is not a guy you want to lose. It looks like the way that the cavalry, dismounted cavalry works is very similar to a skirmisher unit. So it's good to know that. We're going to go ahead and bring Mumford forward as well. Still waiting for those reinforcements, of course. But so far, we seem to be holding the line all right. Okay, come on, let's do this, man. They're really trying to take that position. You can see all the Federals dead here. It's pretty unbelievable. They understand, I think, the importance of this area. Come on, Mumford. Beautiful. Look at that crossfire. That's what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, we got a lot of enemies moving over here, which is definitely a concern. I'm going to take Douglas's skirmishers, just put them over here by the woods. They can't really do much to stop that. They could certainly make the enemy think twice. And now Mumford is in close combat, which is not something I want, but we managed to rout the enemy troops with this awesome crossfire. I'm even going to keep firing at them if I can. Make sure they don't come back. And I'm going to take Mumford, move him over here. You can see the enemy's approaching from kind of a different location now. I don't want Early. No, Early, stay put. When Early gets angry, like I said, he's a mean old man. He will keep attacking. And right now, he is continuing that charge. It looks like the entire Union army is running away from Jubal. They don't want to meet Jubal's bayonets. And hell, I wouldn't want to meet Jubal's bayonets either. He is a tough, tough guy. Okay, look at that. Look at that field. That is unbelievable. These Federals will think twice before attacking us. And don't forget, this is when the South was in Union territory. Most of the war, of course, was fought in Confederate territory. But this time we're in Maryland. And it's definitely going to make it a lot harder for us, or at least somewhat harder for us, to accomplish our tasks. All right, let's move forward here. Fire on Dury. I'm going to get Penn to fire at Dury too, because we're going to get a nice flanking shot. Looks like they've decided this area is untenable, and I would probably agree with them. Keep it up, boys. I think it's going to be 27. The 27 marker is obviously not going to be the end of the battle, but I think that's when the reinforcements are going to arrive to assist us. And I hope that's the case, because we need some reinforcements. We also need to maybe start taking out some of this these cannons. So I'm going to move Douglas's skirmishers on kind of a dangerous mission. And let's get Stonewall Brigade. He's got 59 men. Oh, there we go. Hood's division has arrived, guys. We should use him to defend Dunker's church. Fair enough, fair enough. Guess that's probably a good idea. So we don't know if the enemy's going to arrive from this location, but we've pretty much got this area covered. So I'm going to move these guys over here. I'm going to take Law and move him basically here over to defend the area against the approaching Federals. And yeah, unfortunately, Douglas got smashed here. I'm going to try to see if we can get one volley off on Matthew's cannons, but it could be pretty tough. We might need to go ahead and mount our cavalry once again, just to try to take out some of the enemy artillery, because right now they're getting very close to taking this position. That looks like a massive charge. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Here we go, Hampton and Mumford. Come on, boys. Fire at those skirmishers as well. I want to take Jackson, keep them over here. Be great if we could get some men over there very, very, very soon. But, like, if you take a look here, we don't really have that many reinforcements. It's nothing special. I hate to say that, but it's kind of the truth. We're actually going to move Penn out of the woods. Warren, we're going to move into his place, because this is a perfect opportunity to get some flanking shots. And like I said, I had to move Jackson back because it's just getting too dangerous. The Union looks like they're putting all of their pressure on this hornet's nest we have set up here. And we don't stand a chance if we stay put and don't have any reinforcements. There we go. Hit the Iron Brigade. Beautiful. Iron Brigade is falling back. Might want to go ahead and hit him with one more volley. It looks like Magleton, never heard of that general, is falling back. Well, he could be a colonel, of course. So we're going to keep moving forward. And Joseph Hooker is a little scared right now. I'd love to get a shot on Joseph Hooker, but I think our shot would best be used against Patrick here. Of course, I don't like the fact that we've got skirmishers approaching so closely. So I'm going to let Mumford give them a few shots. Let them know that we're not messing about here. Jubilee Early still holding his position. That's one man I would trust in almost any military situation. Just absolutely awesome. If anybody wants to share some cool stories about Jubilee Early down below, please do, because I always like to hear about the guy. And as far as my favorite Union general, I would say that, well, obviously, you know, you're going to have to go with Sherman or Grant, but I think my favorite Union commander is Chamberlain. So, not really a general as far as I know. I think he eventually became a general, but just an amazing, amazing fighter. There we go, guys. The Federals attack the sunken road. So we have to change our tactics a bit, send another attacking wave. We are greatly outnumbered. Dunker Church must be held, or else the left flank will certainly collapse. And the sunken road is a position to secure our right flank. We must defend it. So we do have a nice group of men here to defend the sunken road. Be careful to guard this bridge because the enemy may attempt to cross it. It is advised to deploy some artillery to target the riverbank. A lot of times we get that message and it doesn't really make a difference. Fact is, they're still going to be advancing over open ground, and that's going to give us a great chance to fire. More of our forces are coming in to aid our general. Let's hope they arrive on time. Okay, fair enough. So we're definitely getting some reinforcements. I might grab just a unit of skirmishers here just to watch the bridge. Not necessarily to do anything here, but just to watch it. And of course, we're awaiting that wave of Union men. We've already got some guys set up over here behind this field, and I don't think I'm going to be moving from that location for a while. What do we have down here? Looks like we got another group from Barksdale and Ransom. Beautiful. McLaw's division reinforces us, and Walker's division is available. That's really good news. These guys can definitely help us hold the church. But, you know, I'm thinking that right now, before we hold the church, we should hold this area over here. Just to make sure that, you know, we may be able to break the enemy before they even get to the church. Let's put it that way. Come on, Mumford. Cavalry's got the same issue here. Oh, there we go. Finally, we need those supplies. We're going to move the supply wagon up, hopefully in time. And I'm going to send Law forward as well to the Hornet's Nest. Penn is clearly not in the greatest position, but I don't have many options. He's going to have to stay put. Mumford, charge into these freaking infantry. Probably not the greatest idea in the world, but they're kind of starting to annoy me. So we're going to charge into the infantry as the enemy attempts to take this position. I think Jackson's presence is the only thing keeping our boys here. But we're sending Law in to reinforce. And let's see what's going on over here. So the enemy may be totally outflanking us and going straight for this area. It's definitely a possibility. Could happen. And it looks like we got even more soldiers here. Even more to help defend the area. Alright, Mumford finally got wounded. Well, he did his best. And we're going to send all these guys by Dunker's Church. Then we'll decide what to do with them. But Law is definitely going to assist here. I think if we could break that Union attack on the left, that's really going to help us out. So that's exactly what we're going for. We need that ammo for early. Come on, supply wagon. Jubal cannot be out of ammo, although I think it's hilarious that Jubal is out of ammo because he's just shooting so damn much. It looks like, yeah, the Union's going to pull back from this area. Now, of course, this is not a victory point per se, but I'm kind of in a situation where I think it's important to try to hold it. We may even be able to put Hampton back on his horses and get him out of here. Maybe try and hit some of the enemy artillery that's approaching. So there we go. Look at that. Enemy assault. Big time enemy assault. They totally bypassed all of this area. So I'm glad that we've got some boys here at Dunker's Church. Primarily the Texas Brigade. I'm going to try to actually put the Texas Brigade over here, right in front of the church. And our arriving supporting brigades are going to have to defend the rest of Dunker's Church, while we're also defending this area over here. I believe it's the Sunken Road. I may be wrong. Come on, Texas. Douglas is not looking too hot. Looks like he's probably going to pull back pretty soon. But let's get Jeb Stewart over here to the south by Dunker's Church. And let's also grab Frobel. Some artillery over by the church. And maybe we'll grab Shoemaker as well. Although we don't really have any defensive locations here that we need to hold anymore, we are forcing the enemy to send a lot of their manpower to try to take that Hornet's Nest, and they don't seem to want to stop. So I might keep some of our guys here. But I'm going to take Hampton. I'm going to mount him back on his horses. And we're going to try to get behind the enemy that's already approaching here. Come on, Hampton. Let's go, son. Nice shooting, though. Alright, Douglas's skirmishers. I'm actually going to have them hold this tiny area here. So look at that. Yeah, the enemy's totally bypassing this area to go and attack this position. As far as I can see, there's no general here defending this area, so I might bring Stewart to help defend that area, just in case that's what the enemy decides to do. Of course, we're going to have plenty of men over by Dunker's Church to help, but Manning over here, for instance, can create some skirmishers. We're going to do that. And we're going to try to get... Ooh, mouse. There we go. We're going to try to get Manning and the skirmishers over here. Try to counterattack just a little bit and just kind of harass the enemy. Come on, Manning. Open fire. Walker's got a nice fat brigade here, and I don't want him getting to that farmhouse before we do. Boom. Don't stop attacking, son. Now, like I say, I don't like attacking over open ground like this, so I'm going to try to have these guys get in kind of the wheat field, but we've got very few options. Now, one thing we do have, where's that damn cavalry? Come on, boy. Brigadier General Harry Hayes is wounded. That's not good. They're starting to break through that initial front line, so I'm going to put Sanders right over here. Bernie Sanders, I'm now fighting for the Confederacy. It's important to do so because, you know, the federal government is a problem at times. I mean, let's be honest. Okay, here we go. Ransom. Oh, Bernie would never say that. Let's open fire. Well, actually, if Obama was in power, well, let's not get into politics. Here we go. Let's go ahead and open fire at Dana. Boom. Rout. When you have that many men routing with that large a number of units, you can be almost certain that those are recruits. They don't really want to be part of the fight. They might even be conscripts. Well, I'm not even sure if at this part of the war there were conscripts. If somebody could tell me, when did conscription start? When did people get drafted during the Civil War? I do know that there were people getting drafted in New York. At least I've heard that they were, but I'm not sure if that was true in every state. Now, let's take Manning skirmishers and start trying to bring the fight to some of those areas over here. Where's our damn cavalry? Hampton, you disappoint me, son. This gives us a perfect opportunity to try to smash that cavalry. We've also got some more support coming from General James Longstreet. And wow, it's a lot of men that we can use to hold back the federal horde, federal tide, however you want to put it. And I'm going to try to actually, no, not there. I'm going to try to put them like this. Though it's going to be tough to hold this position, but we do have some cover. As you can see, 50% ain't bad. And I'm going to try to send the cavalry. Come on, let's go, Hampton. And try to crush that artillery right there. Unfortunately, Manning skirmishers, they did their job. They definitely harassed Frank and Tompkins, but we need more than that. So let's go. Come on, Hampton. Dun, 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 dun. These skirmishers still haven't seen a bit of action. We're definitely the underdogs in this battle, of course. All right, here we go, Hampton. Get him. If we could take out 2 artillery batteries with Hampton, that would be amazing. There we go. Frank is already losing a lot of men. Yeah, people, well, I should say cannon operators don't do well against cavalry unless the cavalry's in front of them. In this case, they're going to have some trouble. There we go, though. Look at that. Philadelphia Brigade's going to try to charge, hitting them with a nice volley from both, and yeah, they're going to rout immediately. That's a pretty silly charge, to be honest with you. And I'm starting to think that this area, maybe we don't need it anymore, and we can pull back to the woods, which is what we're going to do before we get trapped. Last thing I need is for Jackson to get trapped over here, so we're going to pull these guys back for sure. Let's get the Louisiana Tigers on the attack as well. And let's make sure Sanders is also firing at those men. Really now, the Sunken Road and Dunkers Church are the 2 main lines of defense. There we go. Hampton is definitely destroying that already, but I want to see if we can also hit Tompkins. It might be tough, guys. It might be tough. We definitely destroyed one of the arty pieces, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get to Tompkins. Those horses are tired. They're terrified. General Porter seems determined to pass the bridge and attack us. So interesting. They are going to try and pass the bridge. Probably suggests to me that we want to have a few more guys maybe coming over here. And Evans going to even pull behind Ripley here. We definitely have to keep in mind that the enemy's going to try that. In fact, I'm going to take Lee. And this is not General Lee. This is a different Lee. We're going to move some of these boys up on the hill because that's going to give us an uphill advantage. Fire down on the enemy. We'll have Wright replace the men in this area. But I can't look away while I see such a perfect opportunity there. All right, Hampton had to pull back, but he did a great job. Took out one of those arty pieces. And, of course, the artillery is completely focused on the enemy now, or I should say our cavalry now, as opposed to our infantry, which I think is definitely a bonus. But we are slowly being pushed back here near Dunker's Church. So I'm going to take the artillery here. I'm going to bring them to the edge. I don't want to lose this artillery, but I think if we have 3 artillery pieces defending, we're going to do a lot of damage to the enemy. Alright, Weber might break through here. But if Armistead has anything to say about it, as soon as they saw Armistead, they're like, nope, it's alright, we'll go ahead and fight somewhere else. We got General James Longstreet. I'm going to try to bring him back here, but this is definitely a dangerous spot. Bring Manning skirmishers back to attack Tompkins, and as soon as that cavalry is ready, we're going to use them too. So here we go, the first attack wave from the enemy, coming from that position, and I'm just going to keep my boys in line here. I don't want to mess around too much with them. I might even bring General James Longstreet to help here. I think that's probably not a bad idea. Sorry, that was a weird... There we go. That's better. Okay, come on. First Union attack wave coming up this hill. Come and reload, son. Reload. Not a lot of guys in Cummings' brigade, but we need him to fire. Griffin's going to pull back a little bit. Alright, there we go. Tompkins is definitely pulling back. And while he's doing that, I'm going to bring in Hampton. Finish the job. We're still way ahead of the church, but probably isn't a bad idea to send some of these men over here right in front of the church. So it looks like the artillery did not like that area. Despite the fact that we're doing a pretty damn good job at holding it, there are a lot of Union men here, and that's understandable. Come on, we need that shell shot, boys. Get Barksdale forward as well. General Franklin's troops seem mobilized to attack. Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's grab Tompkins. And while we're at it, I think Tompkins is pretty dead. I'd like to just fire at him, just get a few volleys off on him. Hampton looks an awful lot like Jubilee early. Smith's division spotted. Yeah, that's not good. And General Hancock is... Oh, he's going to be tough. We're kind of sacrificing Hampton here. No, yeah, he's not going to deal with that. That was definitely a big mistake on my part. Got a little cocky there. But so far, we are holding the enemy off. I think we could actually move the artillery up a little bit more. Could even get another piece of artillery. I saw it over here, although he's out of ammo. So we're going to bring the supply wagon over to help him. So far, we seem to be holding on pretty strong, despite the overwhelming Union attack here. I mean, this looks like the entire Federal Army. The Gibraltar Brigade is here. Of course, they are a recruit-based brigade, basically. So they're not going to do that well. Let's bring Walker forward, and I definitely want to get Jeb Stuart back a little bit. Or Jackson, excuse me. How could I confuse the two? My goodness, we know that Jeb's on the eastern flank. What's wrong with you, Agrippa? Colonel Evander Law is killed. That's not good. And now we can see that the enemy's got some pretty good cover from those woods, but for all these guys that are basically hanging out here, I think we definitely have to push the attack on them and try to keep getting those flanking shots. And there we go. Caldwell is routed. Looks like Tyndale might rout too if we get a nice shot on him. That's exactly what we're going for. Nice. Make sure that Barksdale is firing. The Irish Brigade is also here, ready to fight. Why do I always do a Scottish accent when I try to do an Irish one? Not very good with the Irish accent. I feel bad for that. Right, so we might move him over here to help defend the church. Cannot let the enemy take this position. It's extremely important. Slocum's division is attacking. How many men are attacking from the Federal line? I mean, they've got so many guys that are assisting them in this battle. I think Hampton can actually get behind here. Try to smash some of these cannons. It looks like they already know that we're coming because they're pulling back fast. I'm going to try to go for best. There's definitely going to be some infantry nearby, so we might not. This might not succeed as planned. But getting best, Petit, few of these guys. In fact, we're going to go where Franklin is, the enemy general, because we can grab Ayres. There we go. Ayres is routing. Grab best. Looks like Hampton is not willing to charge. but they're definitely willing to open fire and disrupt some of the artillery fire over here. I mean, this is probably one of the most action-packed battles we've had so far. No wonder the Battle of Antietam had so many casualties. I mean, look at all those Federals. Just look at that. If I were a Federal, I would be retreating immediately during this battle. I would just be like, you know what? I'm going to head back home. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You want to court-martial me? Go for it, because I'm going to get killed anyway. So let's just be honest here. You know, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining, as the old saying goes. Right now, the enemy is in a tough position, without a doubt. Let's see if Manning can get a nice volley off on Weber there. Like I said, guys, the real important part here is to hold the church. You know, everything else is a little less important. Still got a beautiful cannon there. And I thought it was going to be hard for him to fire, being so close to the woods, but he's doing a great job. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Antietam as the Confederacy. We're going to go ahead and stop it here. I think we're at about 30 minutes, and we're definitely going to have a part 2. But you guys know what I say in every single one of my videos. If you want to help this channel, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Add me on Twitter, for the love of God. And as always, drop those comments. They really help to bring more interest to our channel, and I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, and on to part 2 for the next video.